Welcome to episode 1 of the Suited Kings podcast. On today's episode, we're going to go over my co-host Wes Cannon's incredible run in the WSOP Gladiator event where he turned $300 into $210,000. It's going to be a 2-part episode, with the first going over his experience in the event and then the second episode going over some hand histories. Without further ado, let's get into it. Yeah, I mean, for the whole tournament, it was a pretty wild ride. I came into it, so I fired one bullet and busted on Wednesday. I played again Thursday. And there was something about that tournament where it was a little freeing in that it was such a low buy-in where I'm like, you know, I'm just
fire max entries.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep firing. I'm going to... against the certain player types in this sort of field, I'm going to be able to exploit them a lot. I was just coming in like, this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm expecting to do well, and also I expect that to mean like cashing for still not that much, probably.
And the price point maybe takes a little bit of the pressure off.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it felt like a daily tournament.
So did you just go in firing then, or what?
No, I mean, I played my game. I just, I tried to really pay attention to my opponents, and like there are a lot of them who I felt like this was their only tournament or one of their only tournaments of the summer, and so they really put a lot of value on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would do some things where I was like 3-betting just to isolate with a little bit wider range than I usually would. For the most part, I think I just played my game, but I know on the second day, on this Thursday,
that's the final flight of the tournament.
It was just my it was my final flight.
Okay.
But early on, especially, I had a really good table image. Partially, I was making some hands, and then I definitely got a couple bluffs through. And when you have that sort of image, and then you have a bunch of chips in front of you too, it's good.
So tell me, how many chips did you start off with this in this?
You start with 30K.
Okay.
In the Gladiator. So it goes fast because day one is 30-minute levels, and you play 22 levels. So you make the money like level 17 or something. But by the end of day one, the final level of day one, the big blind, is 40K.
Okay.
Which is over a starting stack.
Yeah,
so when you get to day two, it's at 50K. So like, I think about 3.5% of the field bagged to get to day two. And even then, the average stack was like 17 bigs. And I had heaps. I bagged almost 1.9 million. And that was
at 40,000 big blind.
50 going into the next day.
Okay, so just about 40 bigs.
Yeah, just under 40. So it was
hybrid turbo. That's a massive stack.
Yeah, and the day 2 and 3 blinds were 40 minutes, so it was a little less turbo-y then, but stacks were already so short.
Okay.
People dropped like
is that I feel like I remember me sending you a text sometime.
You did.
Middle and that. No, you texted me and you're like,
pretty early.
Yeah, you're like, you told me how you were getting kind of beat down a little bit and you were kind of short out of the gate, and I was like, easy spin.
Yeah,
that was the end of the conversation.
I think what happened. So yeah, here's what happened. I started off pretty hot. Then I got like 2 outed on the river once and lost some other hand. And in one of those spots, I remember I was like frustrated that I paid the guy off, but
story of my life.
Anyways, so I got back down to 29K, so just under starting, and it was like on a break, and I was like, "Yep, there goes all that hard work." And you're like, you just say easy spin, and then the next text you get from me is, "You were right, bagged 1.9 million." So I 63x'd it or whatever.
I just woke up laughing. That was incredible. Okay, so that's awesome. You started off with a nice bag on day one. Going into day two, what did your table draw look like?
I mean, I was easily the big stack. There was one, maybe 2 other stacks that were just over $1 million, but there were some very, very like sub 10 big blind stacks.
Let me pause you for a second. How many entered the tournament total?
There was a total of 23,088 entries.
How many are back for day 2?
827, I think it was.
So yeah, we're already very deep.
Like 3.5% left.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so go ahead.
Yeah, so I remember I looked everyone up, and
Preston, get at my boy Wes here. He needs your help.
Yeah, it may have been Preston actually, but he there were no like real crushers at my table. I think I probably had the highest Hendon mob, or maybe second or something. But like,
you kind of expect your day 2 table to be like that in a tournament of that, that
price sort
point.
Of tournament. Yeah. So there were definitely a lot of players that, it still just felt like, weren't really experienced in that sort of situation.
Okay. And how are you feeling? Nervous, happy?
So, I'm feeling good. The mentality I went into the day with is, this is a big opportunity, and all I have to do, or all I can do, is just play well. I know I'm 99% of situations I'm going to know what I should do, and I just need to make sure I execute and don't either get too nitty because I want to survive, or don't be overly aggressive, like, because to be honest, like, and I know you know this, but in May I had a bit of a downswing, and so like for me this was sort of like, oh, if I make it deep into day 2, then like the downswing's over, and then obviously if we make it past that, then there's some huge money up top. But you can't really like think of that. You just sort of have to take every situation in a vacuum and be like,
definitely don't get too ahead of yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you're in that moment with that many chips, you just have to stay in that moment. Don't think about the pay jumps and what you could possibly get with it, or how it might help you in the future. Like, get there first.
Yeah, and the results are going to be what the results are going to be. Like, at the end of the day, like, if you're super unhappy about it, that's your reaction to what happens. You know what I mean? Like, you can just choose to not react that way. And, so.
Okay, so going back to it, you're now, let's say you're halfway through day 2. How many are left?
So not a lot, because I remember at the first break, so 2 hours into day 2, we were in the 300s. So over half the field from day 2 is already.
And what are you guaranteed at this point?
It's still not like a couple thousand.
Okay.
Like, we're not at any real pay jumps. I remember, roughly speaking, with 100 left, the payout was like 5,500 or something.
Okay.
And then I think we hit 10K around like, it was like 53 left.
Okay.
I want to say.
Okay.
So, we're until you're down to a few tables left, you're not really making a huge payout by any means.
How's your stack looking at this point, going halfway through day 2? You're seeing that you're getting real deep.
So the first couple, like, I started off winning a pot. I felt like at every break I was just over 20 bigs, or I would be coming back to just over 20 bigs. So, and that was the case at least till the middle of the day. I think the second to last break of the day, I had like 10 bigs, but yeah, there were, I was basically fluctuating between 15 and 30 for the vast majority.
I'm assuming
of the day.
That's around average, or maybe even more.
Yeah, average for most of the day. Safe to say it was like 20-ish.
That's crazy.
Like 18 to 23.
And I remember you saying you didn't have any flips up at this point. You're just picking up pots by opening, c betting.
Yep.
Any suck outs?
There was only one suck out, literally, until I think I had 2 all-ins that I had suck outs in the whole tournament. One on day 2, one on day 3.
Okay.
And the day 3 one was with 4 left, where we chopped it. And the day 2 one, it was actually a 3-way all-in where I was favored against the bigger stack. Somehow I got all in with ace queen against jack 9 off, and then the short stack had pocket kings. So even if I lose to the kings, I still would have ended up with about the same amount of chips because I won the side pot.
Yeah.
I rivered the ace to just scoop it though. So that was big. That was big.
They got the salami.
Yeah, I remember my buddy, player of the year, Ian Matakis, my buddy. He was on the
subtle brag.
Yeah, he was on the rail super briefly for that, and he just looks at me. He's like, "You're so bad."
Sorry to everyone's ears for that laugh. That's amazing. No, so
that was a little later in the day. But yeah, middle of the day, throughout most of the day, it was really just like win a couple all-ins where I was favored, and then just finding spots, mostly standard spots to pick up small pots, and then a few where I felt like I was able to exploit a little. And
exploit money pressure, ICM pressure on people.
It wasn't so much ICM. It was just and one or two of these we can go over in a bit here.
Yeah, we'll go over some hands.
There were two against the same guy where I just had a read up. Like I knew his actions sort of made the strength of his hand face up. But yeah, mostly just like pulling the trigger in the right spots, whether it's like correctly 3-bet jamming pocket sixes or something where it's like, you don't want to get called, but you have like 20 bigs and you just know.
You probably got to find a lot of those spots when the stacks are at that size.
Yeah. And I did feel like I really had an advantage because this like short to medium stack stuff is so common from playing online. Like,
yeah,
this is where I feel like I'm best studied. So I was just able to, make the right plays at the right time. I had some like small 3-bets in position with weak suited aces where I'm like, I know it's just going to put too much pressure on them.
It wasn't 3-bet jams, but you have 3-bet folds, you're saying, so you're willing to 3-bet fold to 4-bets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, where I know they're not going to find the 4-bet jams.
And you're just chipping up this way.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
Day 2, I was just like, let's stay zoned in,
What was the end of day 2 like?
End of day 2, so I got really short near the end. I got really cold in the last couple levels. And so the last level of the day, the big blind was 2 million, and I got down to like 14 million. So I was at 7 bigs, and then there were 2 back-to-back hands where I went all in. One I ended up chopping, and the other one I doubled up. And so that was like the last orbit, I think, maybe second to last.
Were you feeling anxious with the day 2 bag coming up and knowing how close you are? Because there's 50 people? You're guaranteed 10,000+ at this point?
At this point, there were like 15.
Oh, it's 15. So you're on the stone. Yeah, okay. Stone bubble day 2 because 13 people bagged?
14 of us bagged. Okay. And it was just we played through the end of whatever level that was.
Okay.
So there wasn't like a set amount that was supposed to make day 3.
Yeah, and you're 14 people away from 500,000.
Yeah, pretty insane. So yeah, at this point, I think 14 through 17 paid out like $23K, which is very good for a $300 buy-in.
Yeah.
And it also sucks when you see a $500,000 up top and you're so close to a bracelet too. And so yeah, when I got that double, it felt great. Before that, it was just sort of like, I still know I'm going to just play correctly, but I really fucking want to make it,
Yeah.
Really,
and you're looking at the rest of the field, you got to be thinking, I'm the best player here, right?
Mostly, yeah. There were 2 guys. I think the guy who busted 15th, I don't know if he had a lot of live cash, but he was playing well. And then there's another guy who, at least he was on my right, but he's like a Brazilian guy. He didn't have a ton of live caches, but he clearly played online.
Aggressive as fuck, probably. Cause he's
very
Brazilian.
Aggressive and like.
Yeah. When I see Brazilian on ACR, I'm not full.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely felt like there were a good chunk of those 14 opponents that I was much better than.
Okay.
Some of them I was better than, but they were like decent. And then 1 or 2 that I really felt like were good as well.
Okay, so last hand of day 2, you end up bagging up chips. There's 14 left, right?
14 left now, yeah.
Yep, everybody's probably high-fiving each other as you're bagging up.
Yeah, I mean, there were some people on the rail, like, some people were super excited. Some people were just kind of like,
Yeah.
let's.
I was at
get
home
out of here.
dancing around the living room, even though I didn't have a piece.
Yeah. I remember I texted our group. I texted a lot of people. I put on my Snap story like, hey, at
Big
14
spot.
left, like might be
Big
on
spot.
TV tomorrow. Because that, a lot of people, that's something they'll ask, like, oh, have you ever been on TV?
Yeah.
And the answer's always been no. It's not really a correlation between being
Right.
good.
And you really never really know. I know I've had, thoughts like I could potentially be on the TV today, and it almost consumed my thoughts before playing. I'm like, hopefully I don't mess up here. You know what I mean? It puts a little added pressure onto you, but I know that if I were to make that spot in the moment, you'd probably just go into your game and forget about it.
Yeah.
Tell me what it was like going into day 3 and then getting on that feature table.
Yeah. So started day 3. We had 2 tables. We were at the secondary featured tables in the horseshoe room there. So we were kind of on that stage area, and I mean, it was crazy because stacks are still pretty short. I came in either 8th or 9th place out of 14. It came into the day either 8th or 9th in chips, and I only had 14 bigs. So it's like things are going to happen pretty quickly here. I even got down to 7 or 8 bigs again, maybe like 5 at the absolute lowest point. But yeah, it's coming in. It's kind of crazy because like 14th place still, gets 23K. I think 12th and 13th got about 29. 10th and 11th got 36. Okay. And then, then it's like 46, 50. Yeah.
So once you get to 9th place is when you start having the incremental pay jumps at every spot.
Yeah. So it just crazy because, coming into that day, I really did my best to be in a good mindset where I'm like, this has been a good tournament and this is a great opportunity. And I'm just going to play my best. With 14 bigs, you can't control everything. That's for sure. Like,
yeah.
And I just the last thing I wanted to do was put myself in a situation where I felt like I was making decisions based on, avoiding the disappointment of busting.
Yeah.
Immediately. Cause it can just happen. And I know that, looking back on it, I would always wish I had played in a way that would maximize my chance to finish top 3.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I had to win a couple of all-ins. I actually lost. There's a guy with like 3 bigs who I doubled up.
Yeah. Okay.
And then,
which is still a huge out of your stack.
Big. Yeah, it's big. And it was right after I lost the big blind on my first hand. So I was down like a third of my stack right off the bat.
I think just going into strategy real quick on it, I think it's important to realize that even having like 5 big blinds this deep in this kind of tournament will still give you fold equity, and it's still a lot of chips.
You still have fold equity, and it's worth so much money. Like if you, I can't do it off of my head, but if you calculate the value of your stack, even if it's not that much,
it's worth. I mean, it could be 10 big blinds could be worth $100,000.
Right. And so, anyways, there were two double ups I had, both small blind versus big blind, which I think were standard. Like I had about 5.5 bigs, and this is the Brazilian guy in the small blind. He put me in, and I had queen 6 of spades, and I called, and he had 10-9 off, and I just held.
Oh, good. Okay. Those ones are annoying to lose.
Yeah. I flopped a flush draw, and so at no point did he add any outs. So after the flush, he had like 5 outs.
He was kind of real short after the flush.
Yeah, short on outs, yeah. And then the second one was about 10 bigs, and he jammed small blind with king deuce, and I woke up with ace 10 and
held there.
Another
annoying one to lose if you were to.
It was another one where I flopped a draw. It was like jack 9-8. So he still had all his outs, but I could have turned him. Anyways, I just avoided the king and the deuce. But so at that point, I actually chipped up a bit, and we had lost a couple players. So I remember when we were at 11, it was nice because I'm like, okay, I'm already up to 36K. Like I got 2 pay jumps. Yeah. Even if I bust now, it's,
it'll be a nice summer.
Yeah.
Well, at least it'll be free rolling most of it.
Right. And so then someone else busted at the other table. And so at 10 left, we went to the featured table, but they didn't start streaming till 9. So we were at the unofficial final table.
Yeah.
And there was actually a really nice hand that I played, chipped up a bit. We'll go over that in a bit when we take a look at some of the hands. But then, shortly after, someone busted out. And
is that when you go down to the official, you're saying?
Yeah, so with 9, we took a little break and got our microphones on.
That's when all of us Minnesotans put on YouTube.
Yeah.
Started sweating.
Yeah, really. It was pretty wild. And then...
How did you, bouncing back to that, how did it feel knowing, were you just excited? I mean, not about the money, but just knowing that all of us were watching and cheering you on. I mean, that feeling's just got to be incredible.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Even at the start of the day, having, some guys who were even playing in tournaments that day coming over to the rail before their tournament started, just yelling during my all-ins.
Just giving that support. It's crazy the support you get, especially from people in Minnesota. Everybody has everyone's back, and it feels really nice. So
yeah, and just having people cheer me on, and during my double ups, not like there was a big rail, but the people on the rail just going wild, and I go over and high five them. And so once we get down to 9, then and I think at this point, most people who are in the poker world knew what was going on. Even people in my people football group chats, my poker Discord chats, who mostly I haven't met, friends of mine who don't even know how to play poker, even a few of them, and then family members
just getting overloads of texts and stuff.
Yeah, I had my phone in my backpack from the start of the day till when I busted.
There you go. Stay focused for sure.
They're all tuning in to watch me now. And I will say part of me was just man, I really don't want to just get coolered right off the bat and be out.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is mostly because we're at some huge pay jumps right now, and it would suck to not make a lot more
it's
money.
hard to not have those thoughts come by your head in those spots, you know what I mean? But definitely try and fight them off.
Yeah, and it wasn't a doom and gloom, man, I'm just gonna get coolered here. I'm no, I'm gonna play great, and
it would suck if I got coolered.
Yeah, it would just suck,
Yeah, I got you.
Stacks were still quite short. I think so. In the tournament as a whole, there was just under 700 million in chips.
Okay.
And to start the final table, the big blind was 5 million.
Okay. Wow.
It had just moved up to 5 million. So if you think about it, there's about 140 bigs in play between 9 players.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's an average of 15.
Yeah, it's shallow.
Yeah.
Yep. What is your take on all of the players that are at this final table? Are we loving this final table?
Yeah. So the Brazilian guy's there, and he's good. There's a guy who has about 1.4 million in cashes, and he seems decent, but he's also done some weird stuff where it's clear he's very nervous about the money.
Okay. You can rack up those kind of cashes and still not be a great player. You know what I mean?
He was probably a middle-aged guy. He was. Yeah. I don't know what his story is.
Yeah, who knows what exactly. So go ahead.
And so there were a couple other guys who I thought played played fine, but I'm they're still making clear mistakes. And then there's one super overly aggressive guy.
What's his name again?
Eric Trexler.
Trexler, yes. Had you played with Trexler pre-final table at all?
No, he was one of the 2 players who I did not sit at a table with until we got
that might actually kind of be unfortunate for you because of how he plays. It would be nice to have a little bit of that of intel on that, considering he seems to be a great place to make some good chips from.
Yeah, and he's directly on my left. Yeah. He's directly.
We'll talk about those hands.
Yeah, one of them in particular.
Yeah.
And so there's him. There's a couple people who are just clearly out of their element. But no, I feel great as far as where my level of skill is compared to everyone else. I think I'm undoubtedly top 2. And,
Okay.
You know,
Number 1 for sure.
Definitely number 1. But like, even I think there's only one other player at the table who would think he could be better than me. You know?
Yeah.
Like, and he and I have pretty different styles too. So it's hard to compare.
Okay.
But
so flies are dropping. You're stacking bands.
Just how I was gonna say it.
Yeah. Let's see. There's 4 left. It's you, Trexler, the guy who won it. What's his name?
Jason Simon,
and then that other guy who
Wallace.
Wade. He was kind of the tighter one.
Yeah, and to be fair, like he had 1 cash in his life before that.
Okay,
for
wow, big spot for him.
$960. So this is just
okay.
It's like he clearly hadn't been here before, but also it's like,
well, if that's the case, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he, you know.
And then you had Jason, who. There's a couple of spots where I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? But for the most part, there's others. I mean, to give him benefit of the doubt, there's other hands where I'm like, wow, I was really surprised.
Yeah, he got me in one of them he rebluffed my bluff. And pretty interesting.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. And so, we'll go over some hands, but I was impressed with him. At the same time, he caught me off guard. So, and then you have Trexler, who just had me laughing the entire time. Like,
he was entertaining.
Yeah, and some of his bluffs were just maniacal and hilarious.
He just windmilled, he 3-bet jammed 5 deuce off, and he just windmills it right in Jason's face. And even Jason laughed, and I laughed. I'm like, my God.
He needs a shirt that just says, I ain't no bitch.
He had a patch that says Team Torch.
I did see the Team Torch.
And he's like,
very fitting.
I remember he looks at his rail, he's like, I've got the receipts. Like, I'm trying to torch it here.
So who busts 3rd? It's the newer guy.
Fourth.
Or 4th.
Wallace.
Wallace, yeah. So Wallace busts in 4th. You end up getting into a entanglement with King 9. You called off correctly with the best
King
hand.
8 suited.
King 8 suited,
against Queen 9. The very hand after he busted 4th.
Yeah, so you got that pay jump, and then you're clearly maybe not a favorite chips wise, but you were a favorite skill wise there at that point. However, you took a spot where it was a 60-40, right?
Yeah.
And just unfortunately it didn't work out. So
yeah,
let's take a moment here and then we'll go over some hands.
Hey guys, due to the length of this podcast, we're going to split this up into 2 episodes. I hope you enjoyed episode 1 here. Make sure to check out episode 2 where we go over some hands with Wes, discussing his run in the Gladiator event. Thanks for listening.